My brother-in-law's masculine strength was so intense that when he was with my sister-in-law, her screams could be heard. She would beg him with folded hands to stop and forgive her. And then there was my own husband, who got tired quickly. I wanted a man like my brother-in-law, one who could make me scream. One night, I went to my brother-in-law's room. I was going mad with anger. I didn't know what to do, or what not to do. The hands of the clock were moving slowly forward, and along with them, my blood was boiling. It was almost midnight, but my husband still hadn't returned home. I paced back and forth, and every time I looked at the closed door of my sister-in-law's room, my anger grew stronger, because she and my brother-in-law were inside together. Their voices were coming out. I could hear my brother-in-law laughing and my sister-in-law pleading, "For God's sake, forgive me tonight." And my brother-in-law laughed and said, "You're so beautiful, so lovely. My heart doesn't want to forgive you. I didn't marry you just to forgive you." After that, their voices stopped. I returned to my room and sat down. After some time passed, I picked up the vase from the side table and threw it against the wall. There was Aslam, who neither cared about me nor about the fact that we were married. And then there was Ajmal, completely drowned in love for his wife. Aslam still hadn't returned from his shop, while Ajmal would close his shop early and come home on time. He said he couldn't live even a moment without Sonia. Sometimes Sonia looked irritated by his constant presence, but Ajmal would grab her into his arms and forcibly take her into the room. Watching all this burned my blood, because Aslam had nothing to do with such things. He wasn't drowned in my love the way his brother was in his wife's. The clock kept moving forward, and Aslam still hadn't returned. Fed up, I called him. After several rings, he answered angrily. "Rabia, why don't you understand? I'm at the shop right now, dealing with customers. Why do you keep calling and bothering me? When will you come home? How long am I supposed to wait?" I was on the verge of crying. When anger crosses its limits, it turns into tears. "What do you want? Should I shut down my business and come sit at your feet?" he snapped. "Don't ruin my mind anymore." He hung up angrily. My hands and feet started trembling. It was the first time he had spoken to me like that. That night, I cried endlessly. The next morning, when I came out of my room, Rosina asked if everything was okay. Ajmal also asked, worried. I brushed it off, saying Aslam was stressed about business. Ajmal shook his head and said, "Brother has strange thinking. Customers who don't come during the day won't come at night either. One should give time to home, and wife too." As he said this, he wrapped his arms around Rosina's waist and pressed his cheek to hers. She tried to pull away, embarrassed, saying, "Bobby is standing here." But Ajmal didn't stop. I watched silently. This was the love I wanted. This madness. This devotion. Later, Aslam came downstairs, eyes red from staying awake all night, cigarette in hand. He looked at me briefly and locked himself in the room. I went to the kitchen, crying. Days passed like this. One day, Ajmal brought me a beautiful black net sari. I wore it, and it fit tightly. When Ajmal saw me in it, his gaze lingered on me. Later, when my husband went out of town, Rosina went to her parents' house. That night, alone, I wore the sari again and went to Ajmal's room. I told him the blouse felt too tight. He examined me and said it was perfectly fine. He held my hand, pulled me close, and said he knew I was lonely. If I wanted, I could spend time with him. I knew it was wrong, a sin, but my heart was restless. He gave me a capsule. I took it foolishly. After that, I lost consciousness. When I woke up, I was naked on the bed, and Ajmal was sitting nearby, smoking. I screamed, asking what he had done. He played a video of me, completely exposed, recorded without my consent. He told me he sold such videos. Rosina's videos no longer sold well, so now it was my turn. He threatened me, saying if I told anyone, my husband would divorce me. I broke down. I realized my mistake too. I had gone to his room myself. Days later, my husband returned, hugged me, told me how much he missed me, how he loved me. His business deal had succeeded. He showered me with affection. But I could never tell him the truth. Later, Razina demanded divorce. Ajmal met with an accident and eventually died. Razina returned to her parents' home as a widow. My life with Aslam went on. We had a daughter. He now loves me deeply. Our home is happy. But even today, when I look at myself in the mirror, I feel disgust. I destroyed my entire life in one night. That is why I say, learn to keep your desires within limits. Try to understand your husband's struggles. If he cannot express love in words, it does not mean he doesn't love you. Never take a wrong step that makes you regret for the rest of your life.